Hey, there he is. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
What's up, stud?
Yeah,
How you doing, man?
great. How are you?
Man, I am pumped for tonight, dude. I'm super stoked to get to talk to you. It looks like you've had some good stuff happening recently, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, so to kick off, I just want to start with an intro, man. So for everyone who's tuning in and going to be watching this now or later, just walk us through what your day-to-day hustle is like, man. Where you kind of what your zone of genius is, so to speak, and then we'll just keep flowing.
All right. So a quick introduction of who I am. My name is Christian the Truth Jones. I am an international certified Les Brown speaker, international best-selling author. I'm the CEO of Return on Investment, and I show people how to successfully day trade and invest in the stock market. So that's a quick little bio about me.
Right on, man. I love it. It's incredible. And how long have you been at the game for, man?
As far as investing,
Yeah,
so I've been investing for about 4 years now,
4 years now.
and I've been trading for 3 years.
And and how old are you right now?
13.
13, dude. So I really appreciate your hustle, man. That's incredible. I can tell you when I was 13, my mind was on a little bit of some different stuff, but it's so sick, man. So I want to jump into kind of the story, man, because I'm super curious to get like the perspective of what was, like the 10-year-old thinking that made you get into this. What kind of was the spark that lit your fire?
So what really got me into investing and trading was actually I saw a 14-year-old. It was a video of a 14-year-old a couple years ago. He had made about $50,000
Yeah.
of buying Nike stock, and he made the news. So like anybody, I wanted to learn, well, of course, how he did it and how I can make $50,000 by doing the same thing he did.
What that?
So I began asking my mom if she could teach me
Yeah.
how to invest in the stock market.
Yep.
And at first, she initially brushed me off and basically said no,
Oh,
because she thought I was just saying that and
Yeah.
I wasn't really going to take it seriously. Like the next day, I can come back and say I want to get into real estate. Next day, I want to come back and say something else.
Yeah.
So she thought I was on that, but I wasn't. So when she brushed me off, I decided to do my own research.
Yeah.
And after doing my own research, find what I can and understood about the stock market, I came back to her later on and told her I wanted to open up my brokerage account.
Yeah.
Your brokerage account is the account you use in order to trade and invest yourself. So when I came back to her and told her that, then she saw that I was actually interested in doing this and that I was actually going to put in the work in order to
Yeah.
learn this skill.
I love that, man. I mean, and for like anyone young tuning in, like the proof is in the work for that, right? Like being able to convince someone that like that's what you want to get into, like being able to just put that hustle forward at such like an early stage is really unique, man. So what was the first year like for you? Like were you getting into it and winning, or like how were you kind of going through this process of getting better over time?
So my first year of investing, she just let me pretty much since I was still learning,
Yeah.
she just let me kind of pick some companies and we just invested into them.
hmm
And I also practiced a little bit what was called paper trading, which is a simulated trading to really just build my experience without
Yeah.
having to take any risk. So we kind of all started that way. But after about 1 year doing that, then we finally got to the real trading. And I did have a couple string of wins, had my losses here and there. So it was kind of going
Yeah.
back and forth my first year.
That's the roller coaster ride of the hustle, though, man. So it's not
Yeah.
always going to be up, but you just got to weather the storm. So what I wanted to like and start like providing a little bit of value here and kind of just thinking about your perspectives on stuff. I thought it would be super interesting just to kind of go through some of your tips or some of your perspectives for just like the average American who wants to get into the game, right? Like you're starting from
Mhm.
zero and you're trying to figure out like, what's up, G? Thanks for jumping in. You're trying to figure out like what move could I make tomorrow to get into the market? How do you advise someone on like the first 30 to 60 days when they want to get into this investment world?
So I would say my tips for that, I would say I have to go based off my nickname because I actually have an acronym for it. Well, it is truth.
Yeah.
And it goes like this. So you have first T, tap 20 companies that you like and that you already buy from. So I call this your circle of 20. So those are your basically top 20 companies that you're going to be investing and trading. So you want to well, figure out what those companies are. Like,
Yeah.
of course, a lot of people say diversify your portfolio. Well, you can do that now in your Circle 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, for most people, as time goes on, that Circle 20 turns into like a Circle 10, a Circle 5, and then you just rinse and repeat.
Yep.
Then you have R, research those companies thoroughly. Of course, before you can even know what companies you're going to be trading and investing, you have to do your research on those companies.
Mm-hmm.
And to make sure you're doing your research, there is a process for that to see if they are solid companies and they've been consistent over time.
Yep.
And if they have potential for growth. Then you have you understand the historical data behind those companies, because companies are ran by people. People have patterns.
Yeah, I mean,
so
you can't
will
get disconnected from the people, right? I mean, time and time again, it seems like they're at the end of the line. It's not just spreadsheets. There's actually individuals on this.
Yep. Yeah, you just want to find the patterns, and then I like to say reap from the repeat.
Okay.
Once you find those patterns, it does make it almost predictable of what the company's going to do, and of course, you can put yourself in the best position in order to make money off those patterns. So you understand the historical data.
Okay.
And you have T, trade after closing. So this is more so after the market's closed. Again, for those of you that might not know, the stock market is not open all day. It's open from 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's not open all day. But this is more so a general rule of thumb for me. Like maybe let's say I'll see a trade more so at the end of the day. So I don't like to trade on the end of the day. I really don't personally.
Yeah.
So let's say I'll see a setup more so at the end of the day, but I just let the market close, basically, and wait for the next day
For
to
sure.
be able to trade this, because if it's still, the opportunity is still there. And it really just gives me the time to reevaluate, make sure I'm putting myself in the best position, and really just do my research again, make sure I'm making this trade. Well, I'm going to get the biggest bang for my buck, especially if I'm investing a lot of money into this.
Definitely. Yeah. So I love that, man. And that's a great little piece for us to pull out. So thanks for sharing that. And, so when you're thinking about this process that you're going to walk someone through, do you think that process is for like, the average Joe that's just trying to get some money into the game? Because what it sounds like is this is a little more of a built out process that you would walk like a client or someone who really wants to kind of live and breathe or put a lot of time and effort into this.
So can you elaborate on the question? Are you asking more so if this is something for people that just want to make I want to say necessarily a quick buck, but want to make like passive income?
Yeah.
Want to do it actively?
Yeah, like that's a pretty like active strategy, right? Where you're doing like your research kind of day in and day out, understanding how you want to be, in the game day, like throughout the day. Is that something that you would recommend to the average person trying to get into the game, or like someone who doesn't want to spend as much time? How would you advise them to just like start being active in terms of putting their money to work for them?
So I would say you don't necessarily have to be an active trader like I am. Actually, here, I'm going to put it this way. So you have 4 different types of trading.
Yep.
But before I even get into that, I want to make sure everybody understands what trading is.
Let's do it.
For those of you that might have not heard about it. So trading basically allows you to play these things called options. And with options, you have 2 different types. And you have a call and you have a put. Now, the thing is, with options, you can make money whether the stock goes up or down. So it doesn't matter what direction it goes in. You just got to be smart with it, just like with anything. So that's what trading is. So if you hear other traders, use that. Now you know what they're talking about. Most of the time. They're talking about options, calls, and puts.
Yep.
So that's basically the basis of trading. And you have 4 different types of trading, or 4 main types of trading. You have number 1, it's called scalping. This is one of my personal favorite types of trading. And you know how you might see other investors, traders, you might see maybe on YouTube or whatever site, you'll see their computer screen or phone screen, and they'll have like basically those little bars.
For sure. Yeah.
So those are candlestick bars, and with candlestick bars, when you're scalping, it's more so pinpoint movements. Like let's say I was to get Microsoft at $100. As soon as they hit to like, let's say from $100 to $100.50, then boom, I'm out. Like it's very quick and surgical. Yep, tap, tap, go.
Playing the keys.
So from scalping, you also have day trading. So day trade, what's the main difference between scalping and day trading? So day trading is not necessarily as quick. You can normally hold it for like the rest of the day. The traditional
Yeah.
definition of day trading is where you sell all your positions or trades, well, not investments, but trades at the end of the day. You have nothing left in your portfolio besides, well, maybe some investments or in this case, stock.
Yep.
Then you have, to answer your question, how you can make passive income, you have swing trading.
Mm-hmm.
So swing trading, I do want to explain this as well. When you're doing options, they do have an expiration date. Unlike stock, options are temporary.
Yep.
So with swing trading, you put your expiration date or at least a couple months out. So it gives it more time, or the stock more time to go in your direction, basically allow the trade to make money for you without you really having to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have last but not least, position trading. And all of them are pretty similar to each other, but have their own unique spin. Main difference between swing trading and position trading is actually the expiration date, where swing trading will be a couple months out. Position trading could be a year to 2 years out. And at that point, that's your straight passive income.
Yeah. And you've kind of balanced all four styles for what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man.
I
Like
would say
it's so cool to hear how you put that together at a young age and really been able to find that passion. I really respect that, man. I'm curious to dive into like some of the balance of life for that, man. Like as you're coming up and you have like this passion. I'm into the trading world. I love it. Know a lot about it. How are you keeping everything else moving forward, whether it's school, life, whatever? Like, how are you finding the balance between everything right now, especially with this kind of strange season we're in? I'm curious where your time's focused.
I would say for the most part, it really depends on how my day's going.
Yeah.
Because I will say this, you don't have to necessarily trade every day, even if you are a day trader. You don't have to trade every day because this is a thing. Again, you might hear other traders say this. You
Yeah.
can over trade, which is something you definitely don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So some days I might not trade. Some days I just want to make. I don't want to be in the market for a bit and might just want to take a break. So I
Yeah.
might do some swing trades, position trades.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I might have more time on my hands and I want to be in the market
Yeah.
and make my money. So I might do scalping.
Okay.
So that's how I would say I would manage everything. And it's really just about time management and having a schedule.
Amen, dude. That's strong. That's words of wisdom for all ages. Honestly, I love that. I'm curious. One person asked this question earlier in the feed, but who you're absorbing information from, man? To give you some credit, like you're definitely like very well spoken for, kind of ahead of the game, and a lot of like the people in your bracket, I'd say. I'm curious, like, what have you been doing to help yourself develop personally? Whether it is like books you're reading, people you're following, mentors for you. How have you been able to put that together?
So I would say to develop myself personally, it would be I do like to read. I say one book that I will absolutely, but no, not even say one book, two
Okay.
books. It would be Think and Grow Rich and Money Masters the Game.
Okay.
Like those are two of my favorite
Yeah.
books. And those are ones I have read a couple years ago, but they were some great books. I learned a lot of tips from
That's
them.
great.
So for me, the biggest thing is, like you said, personal growth. And as far as how I do that, it's really just about evaluating myself for me
Okay.
and really testing myself in whatever area or activity I might be partaking in. Like an example, let's say I'm trading. I want to test myself and see if I can do a certain action. Let's say I want to make $500 in 2 minutes. I'm going to see if I can test myself and put myself in that position in order to make that $500.
Yep.
I do play sports. So let's say I was on the football field. Maybe I want to run the ball a certain way if I'm playing running back.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to get a certain tackle at a certain yard. I just really want to test myself and see how I can improve and grow from whatever point.
Yeah.
Whether that's my strengths or weaknesses.
Man.
So I would say that's how I do it.
And having like something that you can measure yourself off of, right? It's like, you're highlighting like very like kind of specific things that you want to work towards. It's kind of like a yes or no, or hey, I was able to get like this close to it. So you can, take that progress towards that goal as input, man. So that's super strong. I love that. We had a question come in, and this is one that I wanted to get to, but let's jump into it now. So talking about cryptocurrencies. So is it part of your portfolio? I mean, it's like all over the internet right now. I got buddies in it. I'm curious, like, what's your approach to the cryptocurrency, world right now?
I don't, to be honest, I don't have one.
Okay.
Like I don't do crypto. Just stocks and options and some other strategies. Other than that, nah, stick to my bread and butter.
Yeah. So
I might get into
that's the
crypto
reason why
later
you're
on, but
so
not
much more
right now.
comfortable in that space.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I might expand to it later, but not right now.
Yeah, I'm with that, man. I can appreciate that perspective. So, some other questions coming. I think these will all be good to answer. Platforms to use, apps. What services do you use to get your stuff done?
So the main services that I use personally are Webull and E-Trade.
Okay.
So those are some of my main, well, apps and gadgets, I guess you could say, for my trade.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so let's build on Honey came in here and asked us like why not, I think in regards to like cryptocurrencies. So is it something that you just haven't really approached at all, or do you have like some reasons backed up why you don't think it should be a place that you want to get into right now?
I would say it's a little bit of both. I haven't done much research on crypto. I have heard some people just talk about Bitcoin here and there.
Yeah.
I haven't done much research in crypto or even really any at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the reason is I do know I have a lot more to learn just about the stock market itself. And I have a lot of things I can definitely, of course, improve on.
Yep.
So I'd rather just go deepen my knowledge in a field that I'm already pretty much comfortable with. And it is about being uncomfortable, like I said. But for this, it is for me just deepen my knowledge and learn more in this field I'm already in. And then, like I said, possibly expand to other areas such as crypto.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not by any, like my involvement in trading is really low. Like I do some stuff with like a Schwab Intelligent Portfolio. So I'm really not too deep in the game. But just like for my skill set and like to kind of build on that question, just like knowing that there's so much more room for you to develop where you're already performing and wanting to continue just like maximize what you can do in that space. Like I really respect that. I kind of feel the same way about like building our agency, focusing on how we can better deliver content. Like all those things are kind of in the same mindset, I'd say. So I definitely appreciate that perspective. I want to jump into like some specifics around like, breaking down stocks, like who you're excited about right now, kind of how you see pieces moving in the market, whether it's companies you're excited about, people you think that people should be paying attention to. What are some of your hot buttons? What are you tracking right now? What are you excited about?
So I would say the main things that I would be excited about would have to be my own personal wild card, which is Tesla.
Yeah.
When they had that space launch, I think it was a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Well, I know it was about this month, but when they had the space launch and how successful and how much they've grown just in the recent couple of months, or even just in 2020 overall.
Yeah.
They've went from about like $300 to over $1,000, about $1,600, $1,700. Like Tesla. Yeah, they'd have to be the main company I'd be watching right now.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, we got AMD in here. I know that's hot right now. I keep seeing it everywhere. Shopify was another one, man. That seems like they've done some crushing. Yeah.
Not a grow.
So let's go for this one. We had another guy come in here. I appreciate this question. So investing in stocks long term, what are you looking at?
I would say some of the companies. I won't say all of them. I will say some of the companies that I have been looking at, and these are actually part of my own personal Circle 20 for long term, are Microsoft, Apple, Visa, MasterCard, Shopify, and Roku.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, a few of those are ringing bells for me, man. And when you're looking at them, like you were kind of talking about going back to the people in the organizations. And I've heard that with other people I've talked to just kind of in the investment space. Are you like really diving into leadership teams, strategic direction for organizations? How are you able to like kind of get into the mind of the people that are behind these stocks?
So I want to say it's necessarily getting into the mind is more so for me, looking at certain factors like the charts and finding the patterns with the prices. The people behind the companies are definitely important, like a change in the CEO, a key executive can make a big impact on a company's future and potential.
Yeah.
I would say for me, it's more so looking at the prices and looking how they move every day, specifically the charts.
I see. Okay. So you're still kind of deducing human behavior from the charts themselves, not necessarily going outside of that for like, because I was going to flow into like news sources. Like, what are you paying attention to when you wake up every day to know if it's a day that you want to hop in and get your hands dirty?
So I'll say news sources that I mostly use. I would say one major one would definitely be Yahoo Finance,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Bloomberg.
Okay. Okay. Is that like a daily check for you?
Those and the main one I use, I might look at Bloomberg, but mostly what's it called? Market Watch. That's what it was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm always curious because it seems like there's so much information coming at us these days. You know, you got social media trends, you got like whatever the viral post is, and you've got like tons of newsletters that you can subscribe to get the insight. You've got Facebook groups, you've got whatever. So I'm always curious to kind of think through how people are sifting through all the noise to find out like what should they actually be responding to. And I mean, whether it's trading, whether it's like business, life, whatever, there's so much coming at us that like filtering through that is definitely something that I face every day. And when you're trying to make moves for your business based off of that information, I think it's a really interesting obstacle to face. And it seems like momentum could be a big part of what is driving stock values, what people are getting excited about. So I'm always curious to know how much weight you put into the traction of something in the news or the traction of something on social media. Have you seen that have a big impact on your portfolio, or do you just kind of try to pay attention to what you know?
I would say mostly stick to what I know.
Yeah. You don't need the noise.
Nah.
I love that, man. Keep this focus on what you know and keep rocking with it. That's awesome, man. Well, I know we're coming to the end of our time here. We got a bunch of people tuning in. If you guys have a question, feel free to drop it in, guys. We've run through a bunch already, but feel free to hit us with something as we're wrapping up here. Man, so I want to know, like, what are the next couple of months and years looking like for you? What are you excited about getting into next?
So I'll say one of the main two things, I would say, so next couple of years, say 5 to 10.
Yeah.
So I would say some of the main things for me are, of course, being able to actually invest in real estate since I can't technically do that now.
Yeah.
And also starting my own hedge fund.
Very nice. Okay. I love it. Those are big goals, man. That's what you got to have. You got to reach for it, dude. That's incredible.
Definitely.
So last question. I asked everyone this question, but if you could speak to the world, what do you hold true to, man? What's a message that you think people need to hear right now, just given the current state of the world? What's your truth?
I would say if I have a message, it would be the parents. So here, get ready for it.
Okay.
So parents, from all ages, no matter how old your kid is, whether they're a teenager, possibly adult, to a toddler, a baby, whatever, it doesn't matter how old they are. Invest in your child's gift and invest in what they're great at. Not what they're good at, but what they're great at. Because everybody has that special talent.
Yeah.
Everybody has that special thing about them that they excel at. So invest in your child's gift.
That's incredible.
And find a way to, of course, monetize that gift, whether that's athletics, whether that's maybe art, whether that's music, whatever it is. Show your child the way to monetize their gift and something they're passionate about. Because I know me personally, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life is somebody that's passionate about their craft because they will put everything they have into growing into that craft.
Yeah. I mean,
so invest in your child's gift, invest in their passions, invest in their dreams. And you don't have to know all the answers. That's why you have other people in different fields that might not necessarily know all the answers themselves, but they can definitely answer a lot of your questions.
Yeah.
So invest in your child's gift, invest in them because they are, well, your long-term investment. And of course, like any trader or any investor, you want your return on your investment.
Is your mom waiting on a return from her investment?
A little bit longer, not that long.
A little bit longer. That's awesome, man. Dude, I'm so stoked. It's definitely inspiring to hear you talk, man. And I'm super stoked to follow along your journey, see where you're going next, dude. Like, keep the hustle up. It's super cool,
Thank
man.
you.
And I appreciate the time, dude. Thanks for tuning in. I love the idea.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, dude. I mean, anytime. I would love to connect and stay in touch, dude.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, brother. Be easy. And